Will prices of real estate in London, Ontario go up or down in 2026? Hey, it's Ryan Hodge, broker owner here at the Realty firm, and Sandra, Tavares, and I have been selling real estate for nearly 20 years in London. Our mission is to serve and support you, providing you with lots of content, lots of strategy, lots of information, and everything and anything London, Ontario real estate to help you make really good and informed decisions. And so, let's talk about market speculation. We have seen a lot of different stats that have been coming through on my YouTube channel. I break down stats monthly, if not even more frequently, about what's going on in the market with some real deep dive information for you statistical junkies that like the numbers and like to crunch things and like to speculate for yourself. I'm one of those as well. But here's the thing. Right now, we have had consistent interest rate holds inside of all of things real estate. Bank of Canada has held rates, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row. We are in the thick of it in terms of the spring market, which has been a delayed market. And I believe that it's really, really important to pay attention to not only what you see in terms of stats or on the news, but just some good common sense as far as what is happening inside of the marketplace and the economy. And so when you have what is considered a delayed spring market, and what we look at is new listings compared to actual sales. So sales in relation to the new listings that hit the market each month as a stat. To me, that tells us basically on average how many homes are selling compared to what's actually listed. And so for a couple months there, we were more like 1 in 3 properties that were actually selling. When you hit 45% and beyond, you move into more of a balanced market, but under that 45%, you're still considered a buyer's market. And then when you move out of that and way beyond the 45% mark, you're into that seller's market, which we saw in 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Right now, we have been moving from that 1 in 3 to just under 45% last time we checked the stats. So people start to say, well, things are changing. The market's picking up. So pricing is going to go up. But pay attention to the time of year. Okay, we had a 1 in 3 that was happening in January, February, March, even I'm going to suggest into April for the most part, with a longer winter. So less of a spring market than what we would normally see by April. But of course, come May, you start to see that number trend upwards, which means that we're going to see more activity. We're seeing multiple offers. We're seeing sale prices that are selling, on or above asking in some cases, but not all. And it's important to pay attention to this because when you start looking at how does this impact you in terms of what is going to happen to pricing, nobody can truly tell you that right now. Nobody can take a look at this like they have a crystal ball and say, pricing is going to go up by the end of 2026. Or if you wait until, the spring market of 2027, you'll be in a much better place to buy or sell. What you want to look at is what is happening in the now. And like I've said in many of my videos, I think it is a great opportunity for buyers. And I think it is a great opportunity for sellers. I think if you're a buyer and you're looking to upsize right now, albeit pricing has come down since the record-setting years, if you're upsizing into a new property, you might not get as much as you first hoped for or anticipated on your current property, but because it is more of a buyer's market, you have an opportunity to be more discerning on your upsize. And so I think that that is a huge opportunity. Number 2, if you are looking at new construction, we have this entirely new HST rebate that is, just having a massive impact on the market right now with the opportunities that builders are providing with new construction. Now, that HST rebate is something that is not truly official yet in all sense of the word. I'm going to break that down in another video for you that really indicates, where to be a little bit cautious with it. But this is giving residential resale a real run for its money. So paying attention to what you can do in terms of purchasing and also the opportunity to purchase right now, even if you feel that the market's going to tank a little bit more, which maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. you've got lots of options. So you have not only options with the choices in terms of the type of house, the area that you want to buy in, affordability factor being a little bit better, even though I get it, we're in the Canadian economy and housing affordability is not amazing right now. But you also have options on how you negotiate. In the hot market, really, really challenging to go conditional upon sale of another property because you're competing with 3, 4, 10, maybe even 20 offers at a time. Where right now you have the ability to negotiate in a much greater way, oftentimes with, putting a conditional upon sale inside of your agreement of purchase and sale as well. This lends to a much more relaxed process. It lends to being able to negotiate maybe more off the price or better terms or better conditions as a buyer in the driver's seat. So you've got really, really good opportunities in that regard as well. In terms of selling, you've probably seen many of my videos on, the product, the promotion, and the price. And if you get those things right, you're in a huge, huge opportunity. You can look at also how to beat your competition in terms of your listing. And so depending on where you're moving to, taking the right approach, the right strategy to still receive and achieve that optimal value. We're still selling properties on average in less than 30 days. I think right now we're in and around 19 days like we normally are. And that to me is an opportunity for you to sell a property at a good price in a reasonable amount of time with very, very little hassle. And that can be advantageous to you as well. When you try and predict what's going to happen, is buying a house going to become more expensive or is selling a house going to be better at another point in time? Oftentimes you lose the opportunity that exists in the now, depending on your future plans. Now, Sandra and I are very active inside of the London market. We want to work with people, whether they're doing something now, 6 years from now, 6 months from now, it doesn't really matter to us. We want to help you with your own family planning, with your personal planning, looking at what it is that you have in terms of your own wants, needs, dreams, and desires to help you make informed decisions. And that is really where you can start looking at what is the best thing for me right now in this market, in current space and time. What is it that you really want to have happen in terms of your own goals, dreams, desires, that if you sold your house or if you purchased a new house right now, that it makes sense for those things to come to fruition. So rather than trying to predict the market, it's important to understand the market. Look at the data. Look at how things are trending. Get a professional in place in front of you to support you in determining what your next best steps might be. But it's looking at where you want to be in the next 60, 90 days or by the end of 2026 and how to go from point A to point B in terms of doing so on your terms, helping you obtain the best possible outcome, whether you are buying or selling. My personal feeling right now is that we have seen our average holding in and around the $600,000 mark for quite some time now. And we also know that real estate, aside from North London, on average, dropped into the early part of this year. Until we see what the activity really shakes out as, and I'm going to suggest that that's probably end of summer into the early fall, it's really hard to predict where the numbers are going to go. My belief is that numbers will stay pretty much consistent through the remainder of 2026. I think that by the time we hit the spring market next year, we'll have a lot more data, a lot more information, a lot more to tell us where things stand. And that will be a good time to, explore whether buying or selling has really changed. I don't think it's going to change that much from this year in 2027. For right now, pay attention to the stats, pay attention to experience, pay attention to professionalism, but ultimately pay attention to what it is that you are hoping to accomplish in terms of anything and everything real estate, your plans, whether you're moving, whether you're going to move inside of the city, outside of the city, whatever that might be, and hire a really good professional that's going to help you achieve that and explore that rather than just an instant purchase or an instant sale that might bite you a little bit down the road. As always, we are here to serve and support you. Reach out anytime. You can always contact us on our website, www.ryanandsandra.ca, or give us a phone call, 519-601-1160. Reach out if you have any questions at any time. If you enjoy this content, be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we look forward to speaking with you really soon.